Today we have day 3 of background building. Who can tell me what ecosystem we are learning about? Okay,
The Savanna.
the savanna, and it's kind of like the prairie. The only thing that's a little bit different is the weather. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So today, like all ecosystems, every single one we've learned about, today we're going to learn about the interdependence in the savanna. Now, before we move on, does anyone remember what the word interdependence means? That's a really long word. Interdependence means that everyone needs each other to survive. And we've learned that in every single ecosystem that we've talked about. Everyone needs each other to survive. So we're going to learn all about the savanna. There's some really cool things. The savanna is a community of interdependent plants and animals working together so everyone can survive. So that means that they need each other. Just like we needed the prairie dogs on the prairie. So one ways animals can work together is by staying together. So they'll stay with their same kind of animal. In the Serengeti, there are many herbivores like the zebras and the wildebeest. Look at the wildebeest down here. They live in large groups called herds. And the mammoths did that in the Ice Age. So we're seeing that animals are always doing what they need to do to survive in their ecosystem. Some of these herds, as you can see, are really big. Wildebeest sometimes even form groups of up to 100,000 animals. 100,000, that is a huge number. So let's stop and think right now. Why do the animals travel together? Why do they stay together? Why do you think they stay together? Thoughts? Oh, I see Kay. Kay, what are you thinking?
Why do they stay together?
To stay safe.
To stay safe. That's why they stay together. Just like you hold your mom's hand or your dad's hand when you're walking. You do that.
They look like flowers.
So when the savanna grasses dry up in the winter, the herbivore herds will migrate or move away long distances. So they will just travel for a long time to find food. In the Serengeti, the almost 2,000-mile trek. Now, that is a really long trip. It's called the Great Migration. And it can take almost 3 whole months. That is a long time. For 2,000 miles. So the herbivores stay together. It would be millions of animals, wildebeest, zebras, antelope. They all stay together and travel, and they just walk and walk and walk until they find food. That is a long trip. Wow. So just like Kaylani said earlier, The main reason why they stay together and travel in herds is to stay safe. Because if one big scary lion sees a bunch of zebras or wildebeest, they're not going to want to mess with them because they can't take them all down. So they'll be overwhelmed and they will not attack the big groups. The big groups can also work together to stay on the lookout for the predators. So some animals can warn the other ones that there is a predator nearby, and they protect their young. Just like in the Ice Age and in the Amazon, where all the babies, the little cute animals, will stay in the middle to stay safe. So in the whole wide world, animals usually stick together to stay safe. Just like we stick with our families to stay safe. So here are carnivores, our meat eaters. They live in groups too. So the lions live in groups called prides, and the hyenas live in packs. See the hyenas on the bottom? And they'll work together to hunt larger animals, find food, and share it with everybody. Then they have to defend their home, their territory, and teach their children what to do. But there are some carnivores. Hold on, someone's coming in. There are some carnivores, like the cheetah, the fastest animal, and leopards, that they like to live alone. They like to just go by themselves, hunt by themselves. They don't stay with their animals. They don't stay in the pack, in the herd. If you were living in the savannah, would you want to live in the big, large group, the pack or the herd, or would you want to live alone? Which one would you rather do? Jaden?
The big, large group.
Yeah, I would want to live in the big group too. I feel like I might be safer that way. Anyone else? If you also want to live in a group, you can show me that you agree with him by giving me a signal. But would anyone like to live alone? No, Giancarlo says he doesn't know. So no one will live alone. Oh, okay. So we'll all be safe. All right, here's something really, really cool. So some animals help other animals. We know that. But this special animal is called an oxpecker. And it's a bird that eats insects like ticks and termites. Now, ticks are like little insects that like to live on animals. Ew. So this oxpecker has a very special relationship with another animal. Look at the picture. Look at the oxpecker. What do you think the oxpecker, the bird, is standing on? Jayla?
Sand.
Sand. That looks like sand to me too. Let's see. This is what the oxpecker is standing on. Oh my goodness. Why is he standing on the rhino? All right, so they just like to hang out on the rhinos because there are bugs that like to live in the rhino's fur. But the oxpecker likes to eat those bugs and clean the rhino up. What? That is so cool. It's really weird, but it's cool. So the big animals, like the rhino, he benefits by getting rid of the bugs, and the oxpecker benefits because he gets food. So they both use each other and they need each other. But there's also something really cool about the oxpecker. So that little oxpecker right there, he has better eyesight than any of the animals that he lives on. So he can see better. Why do you think that's a good thing? What can the oxpecker do? Emilia?
Oxpecker can warn the animal that it's on if there's any danger.
If there's any danger, it can warn the animal that it's on, which the animal that it sits on is called the host. He's the host. So it will make like a hissing sound or a squawking sound if the bird sees a predator. So he's helping the animal, and they're helping each other because one animal's getting food. So since both animals benefit, they both get something out of it, their interdependent relationship is called mutualistic. Mutualistic is when two people benefit from one thing. So that's cool. But there are also interdependent mutualistic relationships between humans, us, and birds in the savannah. So this is a member of the Yao community. That's his community, the human, that's his pack that he stays with. They have a mutualistic relationship with the honey guide bird. They both eat different parts of the beehives. We don't eat bees. What do we eat that's in the beehive? Jayla?
Honey.
Honey, we eat the honey. So the humans eat the honey, and the birds, they eat the beeswax and the larvae. So that, but they need each other, so that's cool. So this is how they help each other. Look at what the human is doing. What do you think he's doing? Look at the picture. What is the human doing? Hold on. Jaden?
He's eating the honey.
He's not eating it yet. Look at what he's doing and what that tool that he has in his hand.
He's grabbing the bee thing.
Yeah. He is actually breaking the beehive. Now, if we ever see a beehive, you know not to go near it. Don't touch it. Don't bother them, and they will not bother you. Everyone knows that, right? All right. So, since the birds cannot go inside of the beehive, they talk. They don't talk. They communicate with humans for help. So the bird will go out and find where the beehive is, and then it will communicate with the human and tell them where the beehive is, and then they will go together to the beehive, and now they can open the hive. Now all those bees are gonna fly out, and that's so scary. But the human takes the honey, and it leaves everything else for the bird. Isn't that awesome, Jayla?
He might get stung by the bees if he bothers them.
Yep, that is why we do not bother them. You just leave them be. So we found out some cool relationships with animals. Now we're going to talk about some relationships with plants. Remember that plants don't have arms and legs, but they are very much alive. So we know plants provide food for some animals, but there are some other ways that they help them. Oh, look at the little lion. All right, so let's think about if we were an animal in the hot Savannah. Hot. The sun is super hot. Do you think that there are any plants that can help cool us down? Think about us as humans when we're really hot. How can we use plants to cool us down? Jayla?
Trees.
Trees, you got it, 110%. The trees provide shade for savanna animals. So even us sometimes when we get too hot, we're gonna find the shade under a tree maybe it's not a tree, but we are gonna find the shade, and trees give animals shade. So the sun is not directly on them. Since the tree is blocking the sun, then the ground is not that hot. So they can chill and hang out under the tree. So we have other trees and really tall trees to protect some animals. So we know birds, look at the birds, they make their nest really high up so that they can keep their babies safe. So look at this. These are some plants. There's like seeds in here. There are animals that move seeds across the savannah. But how do you think they do that? They don't have a book bag like we do. They don't have pockets like we do. How do you think some animals can move seeds? Okay?
With their mouth?
With their mouth. They can. All right. So they can get their seeds. Ants and birds will carry them on their backs or in their mouths, like Kay said, to another place. Elephants, they carry seeds really, really far away. They will carry them for miles and miles just to put them somewhere else for plants to grow. So just like the rhino and the oxpecker, some plants also have this mutualistic relationship where both parties benefit. Both animals will benefit. So the acacia trees, right here, they have these hollow bumps. Now, hollow means that it's empty inside, empty. That the ants like to use for a home. So they like to go inside of those holes and that's their home. The tree also produces this nectar that feeds the baby ants. So the tree gives the ants a home and food, and in return, the ants protect the trees from this animal. Remember this giraffe? He can wiggle his tongue and get all the food. But when the ants know the giraffe is coming, they will sting the ant. They will sting the giraffe until it goes away. All right, we're going to skip that question because we are running out of time. Let's do our syllables. Syllables. Great migration. Great migration. Pride. Pride. Oxpecker. Oxpecker. Elephant. Elephant. Giraffe. Giraffe. Honey guide. Honey guide. Ant. Ant. Acacia tree. Acacia tree. Wildebeest. Wildebeest. All right, let's take some time to think about what we thought was really cool or the most interesting, and that will end up being your message. What was really interesting today? Jaden?
Mine is, I learned about the ants.
What did you learn about the ants?
They sting the giraffe.
Yeah, they sting the giraffe. I like that. All right, Jaden, you are ready to go.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
I love you more. Bye-bye. Alana?
Okay, so X-Packer.
Come on, you just said it 3 times. The oxpecker.
Eat the ant.
Right.
Bugs in the rhino.
Yep, I like that. That was going to be my message too. All right, you are ready to go.
See you later.
See you later.
All right, Kay. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Animals travel in big herds to keep them safe.
Yep, I like that. That's important.
I love you, Miss Moore.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Mwah. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Giovanni, what is your message?
I learned about the woodpecker.
Oxpecker.
Oxpecker.
Yep. All right. Go ahead, Giovanni. Anybody else ready to share their message? Still thinking? Giancarlos?
So, Giancarlo's voiced out his message before he was picked out, and someone else said the same thing later. They had the same thought. So he's crying because Jaden stole his message, but really Jaden didn't know. And neither, they have, so it's the same thing. So he's just going to repeat the same thing.
Okay, the giraffe.
And it's okay.
The ant stings the giraffe.
The ants.
That's perfect. That's really cool. That's something I would want to write too. So that's okay.
It's okay, you guys have the same thought today. You're not copying anyone. He just, I've been getting on him about that. So
Yeah. I know. In school, some of them are like really writing the same thing. It'll have like 5 or 6 writing the same thing because they're all like interested in certain things.
And the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it's fine. As long as he's writing by himself, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, go write a beautiful message, Giancarlos.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, Emilia.
I learned that ants find homes in trees, and the trees give them food, and the ants protect the trees.
I love it. All right, Emilia, you are ready to start writing.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Jayla, it's just you and me. What are you thinking about writing today?
I've been learning about that the ants go in their home because that's their home.
Where is their home?
On like those plants.
Yep, that is a good message. You are ready to go and start writing?
Love you, Miss
I
Marrero.
love you too. I will be seeing you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.